you're all very welcome here today to our early years open night. I am Natasha Murphy and my colleague Rachel Dunn will be speaking to you later on. So a little bit about me, and then Rachel can introduce herself when she's starting. So my name is Natasha Murphy. You may have seen me on the live video before you logged on, so you'll know that I am a past student and actually a current student still of Portobello Institute. So I started off, I finished my Leaving Cert, I came into the college world. I started my level 6 of Portobello Institute thinking that I would never go any further. I was like, study's not for me. The Leaving Cert was not for me. I can't do it. And Portobello Institute just made all my wild dreams achievable, and they all came true, and I couldn't be more proud of myself, and it's all thanks to the college. I finished my level 6, started working full time, then did my level 7, got that study bug, kept studying, went on to do my level 8, and here I am now. And I'm currently doing my level 9 at Portobello Institute. And I think that's the most amazing part about the college is you literally can start here and go as far as you can. So for instance, like I started with my level 6, you can also start with your level 5, and you can work the whole way up to your master's for your level 9. It's incredible. There's great crossover in tutors, so you get to build that great relationship. And I also manage Portobello Montessori School, so I am a Montessori teacher. So now let's get started. So for today's session, we are going to be looking at early childhood care and education, the level 5 and level 6 programs, and the various routes that you can do for these programs. We are going to be looking at the BA ORD in early childhood studies, the BA ONS in early childhood studies, and the Masters, so the MA in early childhood studies. So just a little bit about the national framework of qualifications. So if you look here, your Leaving Cert is roughly around the level 4 and level 5 mark. And then you can branch straight into your level 6 or start with your level 5 and then branch into your level 6, which is a higher cert or an advanced cert. And then you can go on to your ordinary bachelor's degree, and then you can have your honours degree, and then you could go into your master's. And if you just adore studying, you can go on and then do your doctorate degree as well. And again, I think that's the most important thing to remember, like start here, go anywhere. So what do you want from your courses? Do you want to work in early years? Do you want to lead a class of children aged between 2.8 years and 6 years? Or do you want to teach in a Montessori school? So we're going to start with the level 5. And I think the level 5 is great. I actually lecture on the level 5 and the level 6 program. So if you join on, you might see me again. The level 5 is great. It is a lovely stepping stone into the world of study, and I highly recommend it. So you can do this through blended learning. And I suppose the first thing that we want to discuss is what is blended learning. So blended learning is when our course is delivered through one workshop per module and distance study. So you're online studying with tutor support. And this offers you everything needed to complete the course on a web-based learning platform. At the start of each module within a course, there will be a tutorial workshop held, and within that workshop, you would be given all the tools, tips, tricks, resources, materials that you need to go and complete your assignments. And again, while you are completing your assignments, all that tutor support is there. Then a demonstration on how to use the web-based learning platform is given during the induction workshop as well. And I have to say the support team at Portobello Institute is just incredible. So if you ever needed a little bit of extra support with IT skills or anything, they're always there to help. Coursework is usually given on a week-to-week basis to support you to stay on track, and opportunity to submit drafts for feedback before assignment deadlines is always there, because again, you have your tutor support. So if you want to submit drafts, you are more than welcome. I also think blended study is so important because with blended study, you can juggle that whole work, life, family, study balance. You're studying at home. There's, no travel involved, and coming up, it's an online platform. If you do prefer the classroom based, we have things for that too. But for the blended learning, it's so good. You can go and you can nip and put on the dinner if you want to. You can run back and do a bit more study while it's cooking, etc. So I have to say, blended learning, it's so easy to implement that into your everyday routine. So the benefits of blended learning then. So blended learning for many is the best of both worlds. It gives you the independence and the freedom to study at a time suited to you, whilst also offering you the guidance from expert tutors and the support of a peer-to-peer network from your fellow classmates. So at your level 5, what will you study? So you'll study child development, early care and education practice, early childhood education and play, child health and well-being, work experience, communications, creative arts for early childhood, and equality and diversity in childcare. So again, just looking at that list of modules, every single one of them there, you can automatically say, oh, well, I would definitely be using any skills and any knowledge that I learned from them in an early years classroom. And I think that's why Portobello is so amazing, is because everything that you learn in your studies is exactly what you'll be doing in practice. And that really helps weigh out that whole theory to practice concept. So everything you're learning in theory, you're then doing on your work placement, doing it in practice in your setting, etc. So assessments. So all modules will be assessed through written assignments. And then for the child development module, it will carry a 2-hour written exam. And you are required to undertake 50 hours of work placement in an early years setting. And this can be done in a block or over the duration of the course. So for instance, if you want to do like every Thursday and Friday or every Monday and Friday, that's entirely up to you. Again, really well suited around your own routine, work life, etc. The most important thing about Portobello Institute is your tutor knows your name. And that's definitely one thing that I found really beneficial. I had friends studying in much bigger colleges and they were just a number in a lecture hall. I knew my lecturers, they knew me, we were on first name basis, and it made the environment such a nice place. And for me, I was always very shy, asking question. I was always very worried, like, oh my God, it's a silly question to ask. And by the way, no question is silly, so always ask. But for me, I did kind of shy away from it. However, with the college experience, because I developed such a great relationship with my tutors and lecturers, it helped me to come out of my shell and be able to ask all these questions. So one-to-one tutor support is provided throughout your study, and our tutors aim to support you to succeed and progress in your studies. So award and career opportunities. So when you complete your course, you will be awarded a QQI Level 5 Major Award in Early Childhood Care and Education. With this recognised qualification, you can embark on a professional career in an early childhood care and education setting. You can work with children aged 0 to 6 years in a variety of settings, full-time, part-time, sessional, as well as an after-school setting. It provides the perfect pathway to progress to further study. So now for the level 6, and there I am again. This is my beautiful classroom. We were painting, we had sand and animals on the tray. And I have to say, the best thing about working with children is every day, like, you can never get bored. Like, every day is different. Every day there's something exciting. Like, if you have a child coming in, like, bursting with energy, waiting to tell you the news from the weekend, like, how can you not love your job? So now that's for the level 5. And now let's move on to the level 6. So there is 2 routes for your ECCE QQI Level 6. You can go the route for early childhood care and education, or you can go the route of the early childhood care and education with Montessori pedagogy. And we will talk about both routes and the difference, maybe in the modules and stuff as well. So what type of study will suit you best? Blended learning. 1 workshop per module and distance study with tutor support, and there's flexible start dates. Again, we know a bit about the blended learning. It's very similar to the level 5, where you have your one workshop, your tutor support is there. You get so much information on your Saturday class, and then you can contact your tutor with drafts, with questions, etc. throughout then. So blended early childhood care and education with Montessori pedagogy will have some Saturday classes to work with the Montessori materials, get all that hands-on learning going. If you cannot attend or are studying internationally, this course is also suitable for you, as you are supported through other means. So for example, videos, etc. And I have to say, Portobello is so creative with their ways that if you need support in anything, they will do their best to accommodate you. You can also, so you can do blended, or you can do part-time, which is 32 weeks, 1 evening per week in Portobello Institute over 1 academic year. It is the part-time early childhood care and education with Montessori pedagogy is suitable for those living in Dublin and surrounding counties, as it is facilitated in Dublin 1 in Portobello Institute. It's very handy to get to. You know, if you're living even out in the country like myself, you know, I get the train up, it's, you know, I can get the Lewis, and then it's literally like a 2-minute walk from the Lewis stop if you're on the red line. If you're on the green line, you'll have about a 30-second walk after, because the Lewis actually stops right outside of it. So never worry about traveling up. You know, if you're near a train or even a bus transport, trust me, it will get you there. So in the level 6, what will you study? So all students studying early childhood care and education level 6 will complete the 4 core modules, which are child development, early childhood curriculum, social, legal and health issues, and personal and professional development. And again, you can also see, already see the crossover from the level 5. You know, you're now delving deeper into your knowledge that you already had for your child development, etc. And that's why, you know, doing the level 5 really lays a foundation for getting you ready for furthering your studies. So they are the 4 core modules. And then depending on your route, you'll have different modules then on top of them. So for the ECCE with Montessori Pedagogy, so if you are studying Montessori teaching, you will complete the following modules alongside the core modules, and they are early learning environments, early childhood literacy and numeracy, early childhood arts and cultures, and work experience. And this will be done in a Montessori setting. And again, you'll be getting even more hands-on experience with that work experience, with materials, presenting to children, etc. Then if you're going the route just for early childhood care and education, alongside the core modules, you will study communications, child psychology, special needs assisting, and work experience. And the work experience can be in an early years setting with children aging between 0 to 6 years. So assessment then. So all modules will be assessed through written assignments. Your child development module carries a 2-hour written exam, so very similar to the level 5, and you are required to undertake 50 hours of work placement in an early years setting, and this can be done in a block or over the duration of the course. So again, very easy for you to suit it into your busy schedules. So upon successful completion, you will be awarded a QQI Level 6 Major Award. And with this recognized qualification, you can embark on a professional career in an early childhood care and education setting. You can work with children aged 0 to 6 years in a variety of settings, full-time, part-time, sessional. You can work in an after-school setting. You can lead an ECCE room that has children between the ages of 2.8 years and 5.5 years, and you can open and run your own early years service. So if your dream is to convert the garage into an early years setting, then log on, do your level 5 or your level 6, and once you have your level 6, then you can actually open and run your own early years setting. Again, with the level 6, again, you're kind of stepping up again, and you can then work up to becoming a room leader in an ECCE room. And you know, all these little milestones that you take in your career is so important, and it's through your studies that you'll be able to achieve all these goals that you may have. So then, to progress even further, then you can branch out to your BA Ord, your BA Ons, and your MA in Early Childhood Studies. And that's exactly what I did. I took it, route by route, step by step. And that's how I achieved everything, and I think that's the best thing about studying in Portobello is you can literally go step by step. You can log on, you can do your first course, finish that, log on to the next one, do that, finish it, log on to the next one, register for the next one. And I think that's so beneficial, and it really helped me to again go through those little stepping stones to get to where I wanted to be. And like I said, once I graduated from my level 6, I went straight into the working field, and then I did all the rest of my studies through blended learning. And I have to say, Rachel's going to talk you through the level 7, level 8, and level 9. And from a student's perspective, I highly recommend them. I really enjoyed the level 7. It gave me so much insight into early years, and it actually helped me choose what my dissertation topic was going to be for my level 8. I found this love for home visits, which you might have heard about on the video. Found a love for them and transitions, ended up basing my whole dissertation on that. And then the master's, it's blowing my mind. It's incredible. And I'm delving so deep into inequalities at the moment, and I'm just loving every second. And I think that's the best part. This study, it's not an extra job. It's not an extra chore. It actually becomes a hobby that you really enjoy, and you're like, give me more. And I really hope that you get that study bug like I did. But now, without further ado, I will let you on to Rachel.
Natasha, thank you so much. Thanks for having me this evening. I have to say, if there was anyone that was ideal to have this conversation, it's Natasha. She is probably one of our biggest success stories, I have to say. Started with us and look where she is now, and she is phenomenal. So for anybody joining the level 5 and level 6, you are going to really enjoy it. I suppose a little bit about me. I'm Rachel, obviously. I started my early years journey in 2012. I didn't start with Portobello. I started elsewhere straight after school. I was a baby, and I went in and did my BA in early ed and care, and worked for 5 years as a preschool leader and an after school leader. But a bit like Natasha, I got the bug and went and did my master's then overseas, made the big move to Swansea in the UK, and did my MA in developmental and therapeutic play. So I'm here to talk to you this evening about the level 7, level 8 and level 9 programs. So we will get started. That's okay with you, Tash? Thanks a million. Okay, so the criteria then for the entry to the BA ORD in early childhood studies, as Natasha has already said, is a level 6 QQI award or equivalent. The program runs for 14 to 15 months of continuous study. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that we are one of the only colleges to do this. And it is obviously a very popular option for those that really, really want to get their degree. So it's only the 14, 15 months. The awarding body for the degree is LMU. They will be the one issuing your award when you finish. It's fully recognised by the DCE DIY, which was formerly the DCYA, as we know. And it's associated with the higher capitation payments. You will have 180 credits completed with the course, and quite unbelievable, I will say, the course has a 94% success rate. So I think that does speak volumes. Okay, so the mode of study then, and Natasha has already spoke about this a little bit, which is blended learning. It's delivered through blended learning, which is ideal for those who wish to work full-time and further their studies and career. So a lot of the students that we have on the level 7 and indeed the level 8 are currently working in early years settings. So, we know if it's full-time hours, it could be, as we said, 7:30 to 6:30 in the evening. We do cater for that, and we ensure that we hold tutorials and webinars that are suitable to the group. So blended learning means that you will be supplied with notes and reading material, have online webinars and tutorials facilitated by your module tutor, email support from your tutor, and again, probably one of the only colleges to do this, have the opportunity to submit a draft of 800 to 1,000 words for formative feedback. So if you were very, very nervous about a particular module or assignment, you do get somewhat of a practice run, and we'll be able to guide you from there before the final submission. It also means being able to apply what you were learning into your everyday practice at work or in placement, wherever it may be. As Natasha said, there's no travel costs. You need good, stable internet connection, but it is very flexible, and it's being able to study at a time that suits you. Okay, so the modules then. We have Challenging Inequalities, which is the module that I am the lead on. It allows you to explore inequalities in early childhood, which impacts practitioners, children, and families. It involves reflecting on your settings provision and practice and associated legislation surrounding equality. Then we have Children's Rights in Today's World. It allows you to delve deep into the UNCRC, the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Child, and how it impacts the lives of children, to consider how various views on childhood impacts how this is implemented. You'll also look at curriculum frameworks both locally and globally. So locally here, obviously we have Asher and Shielta, and then from other countries such as New Zealand, we have Te Wahiki, the EYFS in England, forest schools, and how they reflect the UNCRC. And arguably our most important role, the advocacy role of the practitioner. Then we have Communicating in Multilingual Contexts. This module examines the theories of first, second, and subsequent languages. It looks at how parents, practitioners, and peers support the development of communication and language, and the importance of nurturing and respecting the first home language will be deliberated, and you will evaluate an area of practice with all this in mind. So it is very practice-based. All your assignments will be. Then we have Early Years Learning and Practice Frameworks. This module will provide an understanding of policy, frameworks, and regulations. It reflects upon the role of practitioners in providing an inclusive environment to scaffold children's learning and development. It does require the learner to examine, plan, and evaluate an area of practice with this in mind. So you can see again, it is very much reflecting on our own practice and provision and how we can improve. Then we have, probably biased here, my favorite, Approaches to Pedagogy and Curriculum, also the lead for this, which is Cynthia Murphy. This module explores curriculum and pedagogy and how they have evolved and the theories which have supported this evolution. So what we're really looking at is how the role of the practitioner has changed from that of an instructor to more of a guide, a facilitator, a model, the big changes in the view of the child from a passive to an active learner. And you'd be looking at the theorists and pioneers behind that change. The learner will examine a range of perspectives and reflect on the practitioner's role in providing a suitable, broad, balanced, child-centered curriculum, indoors, outdoors, and beyond the setting. Then we have Inquiry-Based Learning, EBL. You will gain a knowledge and understanding of pedagogical and theoretical perspectives regarding EBL and research from the perspective of a learner and practitioner. Again, I think you're probably starting to build a picture now. All of our modules require you to reflect back on yourself, your own setting, practice and provision, and how you can improve with your newfound knowledge. Then we have Leading Practice with Children, Families and Professionals. You will evaluate the leader's role in developing and leading quality provision and practice to enhance the well-being of young children. It will include partnerships between young children, families and professionals, and associated legislation, social policy and research will be examined. Then we have Reading Research in Early Childhood, another favourite. It's almost like a proposal for your level 8, but we won't get into that yet. I don't want to upset anyone or cause a lot of pressure, so we won't go there yet. The module will allow the learner to critique existing research in the early education field, research methodologies and research methods, and to understand ethical implications involved when undertaking research. And then we have debating children and childhood. You will discuss a contemporary issue while analysing the social construction of childhood, including global, political, historical, and economic contexts, which have impacted views on children and childhood. Essentially, what you're looking at in that module is not everyone's childhood is going to be the same. It will depend on your social context. It will sometimes cultural and economic factors. So that's what's looked at in that module. It will also consider the impact of contemporary issues and inequalities on young children's lives. I also think this is probably one of the best things about Portobello. It does cater for every type of learner. So you could be an audio learner, you could be a hands-on learner, and this is reflected in the variety of assessment methods that are used. So there are reflective essays, there are podcasts that we ask students to do, there are blog entries, and then you're also asked to prepare some reports. But don't panic, as we say here in the presentation, your tutor will walk through what is required in each. One-to-one tutor support is provided throughout your study, just like Natasha said, for the level 5 and 6, on webinars, on drafts, by emails, and phone calls can be arranged at the convenience of the student and the tutor for anyone that requires further guidance or support. Studying through blended learning is often said to be isolating, but not here, as there's a student forum, which is a great base for getting to know each other. Interaction at the webinars, and I can't stress this enough, we do ask that you know, put on your mics, put on your camera, and really get involved, especially in the current climate we're in now with COVID. We want to reenact the classroom kind of environment, so we do ask that you interact with us.
And never worry about looking well for putting your mic on. I often am just out of the shower and I log on to a webinar and everything. So go for it. You know, everyone's feeling the same and you might as well log on and go for it and, you know, be involved. And again, if you're with your peers, it's easier. You're all doing the same thing. You're all balancing the same things. Log on, I was the person, I was really shy at the start. And now I would never even think twice about throwing my mic and my camera on. It's so much better. And you get a lot more from the workshops, wouldn't you think, Rachel?
Absolutely, 100%. And it normally, you know, whatever about, you know, us wanting to see and you wanting to see us, it's good to get to see each other, because we don't have that obviously at the moment in the current climate. So getting your mics on, getting your cameras on, and getting involved in group discussion, because as much as you can learn from us and us you learn so much from each other. Career opportunities then, a BA ORD in early childhood studies will allow you to be more employable with higher capitation, which I'm sure you're all aware for the degrees, and then working in a leading or a manager capacity. So further study then, on successful completion of your level 7, you will have the option of progressing straight into the level 8 honours degree, and following on from this, if you have the bug like me and Natasha, straight into your level 9, which I'm sure many of you will. We hope to see you. So payment can be made in full, but there is also an easy payment option available to make them financial implications more manageable. So for more details on this, you could contact Jenny, and she's here with us, the wonderful Jenny, our enrollments team leader. And that's her.
Hi, good evening.
And that's her number and email there. And I'm sure she's going to talk to us in a few minutes, aren't you, Jenny?
Absolutely, to answer any questions that anybody has, of course.
Super. Our tutoring team then is experience-led and research-driven. So if you join us, these are a couple of the names that you are bound to see. And if I do say so myself, the most fantastic group of tutors I have ever worked with. They are phenomenal. Between their expertise and their knowledge base, you could not be in better hands. Okay, so we have Irina Fox then, Programme Manager of the Ordinary Degree and the Honours Degree. Then we have Margarita McGuinness, Programme Manager of the Master's degree. We have Denise Baker, Maeve Nolan, myself, Colette Saunders, Jacinta Murphy, and we also have Samantha Cooney. She is not on this at the moment, but she's with us as well. Another fantastic addition to the team. Okay, so that is the level 7. And we do look forward to working with you as you progress in your studies. And I will say it, I'll be one of them that, you know, is always behind you going, go for it, go further, go for the level 8, go for the level 9. So what we have next is the level 8, the BA Hons in Early Childhood Studies. So students who completed level 7 with Portobello Institute have the modules Early Childhood Studies Research Project. We'll get into that now in a second. And then students who completed level 7 with other colleges have these modules: Leading Practice with Children, Families and Professionals, Debating Children and Childhood, Reading Research, and Research Methods. As I said, that is kind of a very brief introduction to what you're going to be doing in the level 8 anyway. So that's why that's there. And then the Early Childhood Studies Research Project.
And I have to say, I found doing the reading and research in level 7 a lot more beneficial going into the level 8 then. I already had the basis of knowledge of what I was kind of going to do next year. And I think it was so much easier rather than trying to balance the two together. I was going in with such like a fresh mind, I think, for my level 8 after already doing the reading and research.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so duration and study mode then. The BA Hons, again, is a blended learning program with online access to some course materials and free access to the likes of EBSCO and ProQuest to help access resources, because you're going to be reading a lot of articles. You're going to need access to them too. They'll be your best friends. This program offers a flexible approach to learning, making education accessible to everyone as you can manage your time to suit your individual needs. The program is spread over 8 months. So is it intense? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. It's over 8 months. The word count for the project is between 8,000 and 10,000 words. A personal supervisor is appointed to each learner, and we aim to provide a supervisor who is an expert in the chosen research area. And I'm going to talk to you about that in a few minutes. Draft chapters can be sent to the supervisor for advice and guidance. And then a final draft of the 10,000 word script can be submitted for review before submission. So progression routes then. Upon completion of the BA Honours degree, learners can gain entry into the MA in Early Childhood Studies. The BA Honours degree opens up avenues in different areas of work still within the EY sector. Working as a consultant privately or for a government agency, so say an inspectorate, whether it be TUSA or DESH. Teaching, entry into professional MA programs, lecturing and tutoring like me and Natasha, and entry into postgraduate teaching programs. Okay, I'm missing one, I think, or I got a different one. Before I go any further, I just wanted to say we all have our own, all of the tutors have our own research areas. So for me in particular, mine would be anything to do with child development, gender, therapeutic play specialism. Everyone will have their own research area. So when you are appointed a tutor based on your area of interest, there will be a significant match to the supervisor you get. Okay.
And I would highly recommend that whenever you get a supervisor, when you are talking to them, write every single thing down, because the stuff that they say is so valuable and they just have incredible knowledge that if you write while they're speaking, trust me, you will go and you will bash out that 10,000 words after talking to them. And I think that's the best thing. You're so inspired after speaking to them as well, that you're just so interested. You're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to write more, show them my work. And at the end of the day, it's a whole dissertation that you can be like, this is all my work. I did all of this research, you know, and you're just so proud. And I have to say, like Rachel was saying, they're such experts on the certain, topics that they've already researched themselves. They're giving you all that insight, and just right when you're talking to them, because it's amazing what comes out of their mouths.
I have to say as well, like, I'd say you'd agree with me here, Natasha. I think the best thing about your level 8 and your research project is it's something that's important to you. It's your area of interest. You know, sometimes when you do a program, you go, oh, wouldn't be so fond of this, or when this is all yours. This is all your stuff. And like, I know myself, when I got that piece of paper at the end, like Natasha was saying, it was, I did that myself, and the achievement, the feeling of achievement is just second to none. Would you agree,
Yeah.
Natasha? Yeah.
100%. And you gain the thing that you're most interested in. Like I was saying earlier, that I gained that interest in transitions. I gained that from all the modules that we had on the level 7. Every time I was doing a module, I kept coming back to like, oh my God, transitions are so interesting. I want to do more. I want to learn more. And then to get the opportunity in the level 8 to delve deep into what transitions are, how could I aid that transition from home to early years? It was just fantastic. And it's an opportunity you don't get really. You know, if you have a big interest, when are you ever told, okay, delve deep, know more about it, And I think having that opportunity is so amazing. And I have to say, it made me blossom as an early years practitioner. My practice has never been so good since I did my research. I have to say that was a massive step I took career-wise, where all of a sudden I was this researcher. I was delving deep into things that I wanted to do in my setting. Like, I implemented home visits from home to early years, and the fact that I went and visited children in their home gave me an insight into their cultures, their backgrounds, their home languages, everything. And that's something I never would have got, only I studied. So it does really make you come nearly full circle as a practitioner.
And you then have significant expertise in that subject. And I think that's kind of sometimes overlooked. You are somewhat of an expert then, because you have done so much around it. Like, you've done so much reading, you've gone out, you've conducted the research. And, I think some people, when they look at it and go, that's 10,000 words, how am I going to do 10,000 words? Then they start writing.
Yeah.
And you're going, I've so much I want to say. I've so much I want. Do it's once you get going and it's something that you love, I guarantee you'll absolutely fly it. The same as Natasha said.
Definitely.
I have found that, ladies, as well. That is the general feedback from learners. They find the level 7, somewhat tough. It is delivered over 14 months. You are learning a huge amount and going through so much reading material and assignments, but you do come out the other end really knowing what you loved and what you didn't enjoy so much.
100%.
And the fact that a learner can then select their preferred topic, they can delve into it further. That really is phenomenal. And every learner will tell you that. Everybody on the level 8 is really excited and just very, very happy to be able to do their own research and produce a thesis, A lot of people will do it around the area of TPS, Rachel, because then they want to go on and specialize as play therapists or specialize in the area of child psychology. So it's absolutely fantastic to see the girls coming out the other end. They're just so incredibly proud of what they have achieved.
Definitely.
I absolutely agree. There is absolutely no feeling like when you get that piece of paper. No feeling like it. And I know I've said it already, but it can't be understated. That's something you've done. That's something you've done single-handedly. Us supervisors, we're here for support, but ultimately this is your project, and it's just no better feeling. And that's where the bug comes from as well, because you want to keep going and you want to get that feeling back. Okay, so we'll have a little look then at the MA. So the MA in Early Childhood Studies is run by the phenomenal Margarita McGuinness. There's the breakdown in exit points then. There's 3 possible exit points to suit the individual needs of all learners. There's the postgrad cert in Early Childhood Studies, the diploma, and then obviously then the master's at the end. Note that all enrolments are to the MA, and if exit points are required, they can be discussed on an individual basis. So entry requirements then, the BA honours degree in early childhood or a BA honours degree in a relevant subject area with classification of a 2-2 and above. The BA ordinary degree in early childhood, if you hold a BA honours degree in another subject with 2-2, an exemption can be applied for the level 8. A postgraduate qualification in a relevant subject area. For some applicants, there can be an exception applied in terms of classification. So, for example, if you got a 2-3, it might be accepted if you hold extensive experience of working in the sector, and it will be discussed and deliberated on an individual basis. So year 1 then, we have contemporary issues in early childhood, and then distinctive approaches to early childhood education and care. Then we have the summer break, obviously, and then equality and inclusion in early childhood, foundations of being, and research methods and dissertation. So just like the level 7, when you be looking at research methods, level 8 is essentially all research methods because it's your project. You'll be going again for the master's to do a master's dissertation.
At the moment, I'm currently working on the equality and inclusion in early childhood module. It is due this Friday. I'm getting there. And I have to say, it's so interesting. There's 2 questions and you can pick whatever question you would like to answer. So at the moment, I am discussing the impact on poverty. So the impact that poverty has on young children and their families, and how we as early years practitioners and how the early years sector responds to these issues of inequality. And it's just absolutely fantastic. A friend of mine who's also doing it, she's doing it all about race, and it is just fantastic. And again, because again, it's another step up, you're delving really deep into that, into, you know, issues of equality and inclusion. And I have to say, I am learning so much throughout this. And it's so interesting, and I'm realizing, you know, the effects that poverty actually has, how as an early years practitioner, how important my role is, and how I can actually be doing more. And you know, without furthering my studies, I wouldn't be learning any of this.
The benefits it has for your practice is fantastic. You would agree, wouldn't you, Natasha? I don't think, you know, when you're in practice and you're doing your day-to-day things and something pop into your head, and being able to actually apply that to practice, it's just a wonderful thing. It really is. Completing an MA in early childhood can be beneficial in progressing your career, as well as enhancing your personal knowledge, as we said, and expertise in the area of childhood studies. Career paths include lecturing in further and higher education, like me and Natasha here, registration with the Teaching Council Ireland, employment with Ombudsman for Children's Office, employment with government agency as well, such as PUBL, TUSLA, AIM, and inspectorate opportunities, as we discussed earlier, and then employment as a standards verifier for awarding bodies. Access to online materials, support, this is all that's included here, support from highly qualified academic tutors, a community of learners and practitioners, flexible learning, just like our other programs, to suit the needs of different lifestyles, making education very accessible. Encouragement and support to become an expert in the field of education by engaging with conferences with the support of your supervisor, becoming a critical thinker, and then gaining publications and adding to the current bank of research in early childhood education. I think that's really, really important as well, because that's how we all learn, is through our research. And by doing the MA, being so research driven, it will encourage you to go out and do your own. Oh, here it is. This is the slide I was looking for earlier. So research interest, and this would apply to the likes of the level 8 as well. So just for the interest areas and the expertise areas. Denise Flood, who is our college director, she has expertise in partnership with parents, child protection and welfare. Then we have Margarita, outdoor and risky play, STEAM education, ICT in early years, psychology and cognition, special needs and inclusion, research methods, complementary and sequential designs, quasi-experimental research design. Then we have Irina, communications and linguistics, Colette, children's rights, professionalism in the workforce and workforce policy. Myself, as I said, we have gender, therapeutic work with children, play and play therapy. Olivia, professionalism in the sector, leadership, heuristic play. Denise, ethnic minority groups and human rights. And then we have Karina, quality in early learning and care, policy development, the role of the practitioner, research methods, online and participation. So there's so many of us and we have so many areas. So I guarantee you, you have an area you want to look at, one of us will suit you. So fees and payment plans then, again, to our wonderful Jenny. In Portobello, we offer easy payment plans to help spread the cost of yearly fees. Payments can also be made in full, whatever is suitable to you. But obviously that will be a conversation that you have with Jenny. So thanks a million for listening to me today and Natasha. And I suppose we should do some questions and answers. Girls, what do you think?
Absolutely. Is there anybody that has any questions whatsoever with regards to, well, any course that we've discussed this evening?
Well, I really hope that you all found it informative. I hope that now you are like, okay, I am ready to register, start this journey. And I hope if you do join that you love every minute like myself and Rachel have, you know. And like I said, if you're like me, you can literally start anywhere and you can achieve all them dreams that you don't even think are possible. Because trust me, with Portobello Institute, you will start there and you will go anywhere. And I think that that's so important to remember. Like, no dream is too big in Portobello Institute.
Absolutely.
Every dream is achievable here, and it really is. It's down to the college, it's down to the support of the tutors, and it's down to yourself too. Like, once you put in the work, you will get everything back from it.
I think a fantastic thing, sorry, Rachel,
no, go ahead,
that I would have noticed is that girls will come in, a learner will come in maybe looking at the level 5 or potentially the level 6, and honestly just not being able to foresee at that time whether or not they can continue on to the level 7, level 8 and beyond. And what I really like about Portobello Institute and the way we teach is that there are exit points. You can gain your level 5 and exit the program. You can find employment and be very, very happy in the setting for a couple of years. You can then in your own time decide to come back to gain the level 6 or the level 7 for the higher cap. So no learner is really kind of tied into that 3-4 years of study. You can exit, there's that flexibility there. And I think that's really what the feedback I get is very, very positive around that as well.
Definitely. I think we have some questions in now. I think Rebecca
is. I think the ladies may have their mics off. So we'll just look at this. What date does the BA start? Well, it starts on the 12th of February. Is the start date. So we have places on the course, particularly because it's delivered to blended learning. And we have, gosh, I guess really you can secure your place on the course up until the first week in Feb. I'd say after that, you know, we're kind of reaching that deadline. But anything from now until then would be fine. The important thing is for me to just check level 6, certs and transcripts. And I can then give an okay and get back to the learner straight away to say that they are good to go and that they can advance their studies. What is flexible learning? So a flexible learning really just means that you do not have to be online at specific times and specific dates. So we will offer one webinar per module, as the ladies were saying, and certainly there are specific dates and times for them. We try to make them as interactive as possible, but they're all recorded. And so if for whatever reason you cannot make it, maybe just send a quick email to your tutor and let them know. We can send you a link so that you can listen back on that recording in your own time, and you can catch up then. With regards to the level 7, I would say to you that whilst we say, blended learning and the webinars are recorded, it's a very, very tailored and very well structured program. You can't really lose yourself. So you will be told week after week what to expect and what material to cover. An awful lot of our learners, I find, will print information off. I found that after a full day in work, running a setting, owning a setting, working full time, having family of their own, etc., they don't really tend to sit in front of a laptop. I find that our learners will print their information off and they'll read it throughout the week. So as Natasha was saying previously, if you're in the hairdressers, if you're on public transport, if you're on the side of a football pitch on a Saturday morning, that is the time to try and catch up on the reading. And other than that, then you're trying to give your assignment some structure so that you can submit a draft. What date does the BA ordinary start, Michelle? Yes, it starts on the 12th of February.
And Michelle, you won't regret it if you log on. You'll love every minute. And I have to say, I was one of them people on the side of the football pitch. I would go up to training an hour earlier and I'd sit in the car. I would do my bit of study. I would do it on the train, going up to work, coming home from work, etc. So that, I think, what Jenny said about printing it off and stuff like that just shows you can bring it anywhere. I have gone on holidays and brought the laptop with me and everything, because again, you're on a flight, you can download everything or print it off, and it's so handy. You can literally do your study anywhere.
Rebecca, you asked, would the webinars be during the evening? Yes, they absolutely are. I think Rachel was referring to this earlier. They definitely do facilitate people that work full time in a setting. So they are scheduled for evening times or maybe a Saturday morning. But again, they are recorded, so you won't miss out. Let me see. Olive says here, can you confirm the Saturday dates? So what will generally happen is for anybody who has registered a place on the course, the program manager, Irina Fox, will send an email out a couple of days before the course start date. Generally, it's about a week beforehand, with all of the links that you need and require to log in. And she will prompt you to do certain things, and she will also send a schedule of maybe the first 3 or 4 workshops, so that you can schedule those dates in your diary. Again, if you cannot attend, it's always a good idea to send a quick email and let Irina and your tutor know, and together we can work around that. Oh, Miku, how are you? Fantastic to hear that you did your level 7 with Natasha in 2020. So really, really delighted there. You're thinking of doing your level 7. So should I work in a setting? I would say to you that most people that upskill to the level 7 do work in a setting. We've had many a learner who are childminders like yourself. I have spoken to Denise, the college director, about this, and she says that once you have access to a setting, that you should be okay and that you can still very successfully complete your level 7. Natasha, do you have any further information on that?
Well, working as a childminder, you'll still be able to link some of the theory to practice. And then if you wanted, like, you could just kind of book in and maybe do block placement in a setting, or go in a couple of days if you wanted to. But I definitely think you would still have the right amount of practical work to be able to link it to theory, and I think you would just grow as a childminder, and then you can always embark on your journey later on in a school. What do you think, Rachel?
I absolutely agree. I mean, there's, as I said earlier on, a lot of the assignments are practice based. So evaluating an area of practice, but that doesn't mean you can't do it if you're in a childminding context. So for example, if we were looking at pedagogy and curriculum, it's about changing an area of your practice. One of the modules is, or one of the assignments, sorry, is about changing an area of practice. So the child is, it's child-centered, it's child-led. So if there was a child in your group that was really interested in hospitals or something that week, you could transform your home corner into a hospital. It's stuff that you can still do in your context, do you know, as the lady said there, as long as you have access to a setting at a later stage, that should be fine. I've had plenty of students with me that have been childminders, and they did a great job.
Thank you, ladies. Miku, what I'll do is I'll ask you to send me a quick email if you don't mind, or you can just jot down your email address here and I shall take it, and I'll send you something official in an email tomorrow morning so you can make an informed decision then. I hope that's okay. I see the slide here, fees and payment plans. So here at Portobello Institute, we give learners the option of paying full fees upfront and in full, or you can avail of an instalment plan. Now, with the instalment plan, you pay a deposit. It's slightly over €1,000 for the level 7, but they're available for the level 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you will pay the balance over an agreed number of months. When you go onto the website, you will actually see for every single course the breakdown of fees. Generally, the instalment plans will commence the month after the course start date, and they're automatically deducted on the 1st of every month. Now, I know that there's been a couple of learners that have requested that perhaps we can take it, can we take it on the 10th instead of the 1st? Things like that are not an issue. If we have to change the date, that's never an issue, but they are automatically deducted. Once you secure a place on the course via the website, you enter your card details, and if you do opt for the easy payment plan, they are then saved on a system called Stripe. That's where payments are deducted and taken. So, learners have both options, and I think it works out really, really well for people that can't, are not in a position to pay fees upfront and in full because of children, college fees, school fees, life, etc. Thank you so much, Miku. I'll take that down and I shall email you in the morning if that's okay with you.
And Miku, it's lovely to hear from you again, and I hope you're getting on really, really well. And if you do log on or register for the level 7, I know you'd be incredible.
Thank you, Miku. I have that now. Ladies, are there any other questions that we can answer for you at this time? Feel free, if there's anything at all that you can think of once you have logged off or in the next couple of days, to give me a quick call or drop me a line. You have all my details there. My office hours are from 8 to 2, but certainly after that, if you do send an email, I'll pick it up first thing in the morning and I shall reply. That's no problem at all. If you need to speak to one of the tutors, we can organise that as well, although you had lovely ladies here this evening. And Irina Fox, the programme manager, is available for calls as well. Oh, Rebecca, you're starting your level 8 in February. And I was wondering if a lot of the assignments are based on what I am doing in the classroom activities. Well, the ladies will be able to answer that question for you. I think either Natasha or Rachel, because they've had the experience of this.
With the level 8, hi Rebecca, with the level 8, it'll depend on what route you go in. If you have done your level 7 elsewhere, that you will have modules that will be involved or that will have practice based assignments involved. However, if you've done your level 7 with us and you're going into the level 8, it will just be your research project, which will be based on an area of interest, and then you conduct research in that area. I hope that makes sense.
So I'd recommend from now until February, enjoy your classroom, see what you like, see if there's anything you would like to learn more about, delve deeper into, whether it's transitions or something about an inequality, or maybe like language or an outdoor area or a STEAM or anything like that. If you have any interest in that, I would definitely use that as like a basis then for going into your level 8. Just think of a few ideas that you're interested in, and then you will fly at your dissertation. And trust me, you'll be like, what? I need to write more than 10,000 words, but you'll do great.
That's it, isn't it? That's what happens. You think it's 10,000 words is so much, and then you start and you go, whoa, you know, I want to do more, I want to do more. Yeah. That's why you come back for the masters.
Definitely.
I see a question from Una here, lady. She says, it's a level 7 continual over the 14 months. Yes, Una, to answer your question, it is. I actually just typed that in there for you. The course is actually delivered over 14 or 15 months. You'll be submitting your last assignment just at the beginning of the 15th month. And it is continuous, certainly for the February cohort. Now, there are changes afoot in the sector, and it will be delivered over 2 years from October of this year, I believe. Now, every college and course provider should be telling you exactly the same thing. This is not a Portobello Institute rule. This is something that comes from the powers above. Certainly the qualification will not change, because our qualification is recognised by the DCYA for the higher cap. So that won't change, but the delivery will. Now, at the moment, you will have quiet time during the summer. So maybe not, as many webinars. Nonetheless, you will be studying throughout the 14 months. I think that's the great thing about it, that you can gain this higher capitation and a degree within such a short space of time.
And I think as well, because you know, like your due dates and things like that, and you would have so many weeks to work towards your due date goal. If you did have like something planned, if you had to go somewhere or anything like that, it's very easy to organize your time to maybe, have maybe the final draft of your submission maybe ready like 2 weeks beforehand, give yourself a bit of a break off and then submit it. And as Jenny and Rachel were saying earlier, with the recordings, if you did have to, go away for any reason during summer or anything with children or anything like that, they would be recorded, so you can always listen back to it. So if there was anything you had planned, you could, like, I remember, like, I had holiday plans, etc., and it was very easy to work around it.
Definitely. I think that people, well, I know with the pandemic now, things have changed somewhat, but hopefully we are getting back to some form of normality, and people have communions, confirmations, holidays. I have ladies, honestly, that disappear on me for half the summer. They go down to Wexford and they would be jotting down their assignment and then trying to, give it some structure and type up a draft to send on to their tutors. Donna, it starts on the 12th of February. And options work-wise once completed. So I would say to you that the ladies can probably expand on this, but what I've noticed is many of the learners that do the level 7 with ourselves will really be looking at either upskilling to the level 8 to apply for jobs within a county childcare committee, TUSLA, PUBL, maybe the DCYA, or perhaps as an inspector. I find that a lot of the level 7 learners will be very happy to stay in the classroom. And I feel that many of them are doing the work anyway in their daily job. So why not have the recognition and actually get paid for it? To have a degree makes a huge difference. I find that some people that do the degree actually are aiming for an office job within the setting. So they still want to stay involved, in EY and in the whole area of childcare, but they are aiming to move out of the classroom. But Natasha and Rachel may be able to give you some information on that and what their experience is.
I think you've covered a lot of it there, Jenny. There's also the likes of moving up in the setting that you're in or another setting. So say supervisory roles or managerial roles as well. Would you agree, Natasha?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Everything else I think you've covered, Jenny.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, once we are providing as much information as we can to the ladies, then that's great. We had another question here with regards to the level 8. So the level...
Oh, Jenny, I think you've muted.
Oh, sorry, I am still muted. And my God, talking for Ireland there. Apologies for that. Thank you very much, girls. I see Anne-Marie's question here is with regards to the level 8. So it's commencing on the 5th of March. And that will be delivered over the 8 months.
And actually, just quickly going back to furthering your studies, like I have to say one thing, working with children, your back might not always be able for it, etc. And I think having a degree under your belt, like the ladies were saying, opens up all these different avenues. So again, you know, as we get older and maybe we do want to come out of the classroom, like Jenny and Rachel were saying, it's a lot easier to do that when you've done it. And again, you know, going from your level 7 to your level 8, it's actually not that big of a jump. And the level 8 is just all about something you're interested in. So I would highly recommend.
Ladies, if there are no further questions, then we shall let you go. And we'd like to thank you for attending this evening. Thank you so much, Natasha and Rachel, for that fantastic presentation. We are always here. So be it that you just want to gain some information on the courses that we offer, if you can think of anything in particular that's, you know, niggling away, get in touch. Send me an email or give me a call anytime between 8 and 2, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions or queries that you have on our offering. Rebecca, I see something here. Sorry, I'm coming from a different college, and I think you had mentioned before that I'd be starting. Yes, so are you doing the level 8, Rebecca? Yes. Okay. So you are doing the level 8 and you're coming, you've completed your level 7 with another institute. So what you're doing is you're working on your dissertation, which is this 8 to 10,000 word thesis. And on top of that, then you are working on an additional 3 modules. You are exactly right in saying that you will be commencing in February. If I have been in touch with you with a specific date, then absolutely go with that. Irina Fox has your details. I know that there's a number of ladies that are doing exactly what you're doing, and you will be able to get started sooner because of the additional modules that you're working on. There's 3 additional modules in total. But Irina will be in touch. You'll have all the information and logins that you need. I'm always here, so stay in touch.
Thanks a million, everybody. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time, ladies.
Thank you all so much. And I really hope that you all register. And if you do, the very best of luck with your future studies. And I wish you all the best.
Absolutely seconded.
Thank you. Have a lovely evening, everybody.
Take care.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.